Hi, welcome to video 4.4 on factoring. And before we get started with other factoring, let's review some basic factoring. And we're looking for the greatest common factor. And it is the largest factor that can be divided into all the terms and is abbreviated as GCF. Okay, so you guys have done this before. This is like a 5th, 6th grade skill. So your GCF, lots of different ways we can do it. I'll just do it sort of the traditional way here. So we would list all the factors. So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And then here we would have 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 4 and 10, 5 and 8, and then we would look at all of our numbers and we would see what is the largest one on both of them, and we would write it down like that. Now, in your head, you are most likely able to sort of sift through the factors in your head and write the GCF of it. That's what you've been doing when you are simplifying fractions, and you're sifting through the factors when you're simplifying radicals, all of those things. So if you can certainly do them without writing out all the factors, that is fine with me. This one, the GCF of it is 2. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at what that looks like when we're talking about variable expressions. So on this one, if we expand it, that's x to the 3rd times y to the 5th, and this would be x to the 2nd times y to the 4th. So now we are looking for all the things we have in common. So we have 2 x's in common. So 2 x's, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 y's, and so we write it like this: x squared, x times x is x squared, and y to the 4th, and that's our GCF for these 2 monomials. Okay, so I'm gonna do, let's see, I'll do this one right here, and then you guys can try the other 2. So between 12 and 18, our GCF is 6. And then we have a squared and an a, so just the a is common. B squared and a b to the 3rd, so just the b squared is common. And then we have a c, but we don't have a c over here. So this is what is common in both of them. So go ahead and try the other 2 while you pause it, and then come back and take a look at the answers. There are your answers for those. And down here, now we're going to look at where we have binomials or trinomials. So on this, the first priority when factoring a polynomial, so this is going to carry into factoring that's going to be pretty much everything we do for the remainder of this chapter, where when factoring a polynomial is to take out the GCF. So it's the opposite of distributing. So like right here, the GCF is 3 out of 3x and 12. So what we're going to do is we would divide by 3 and divide by 3. So we're going to take the 3 out, and then this divided by 3 is just x. This divided by 3 is 4. So that would be our factored form. And the way that you could check is to redistribute. So if I had 3x plus 4 and I distributed that, that would be 3x plus 12. So that's how I could check my work on that one. Okay, go ahead and flip the page, and I will do a couple of them, and then you guys can do a couple of them. So I'm going to do this one, and this one. So right here, whoops, I drew my star over it. Let's look at 70 and 100. The GCF of that is 10, and then we have a v squared and a v to the 3rd, so we're going to use v squared. So if I divide by 10 v squared, this is going to be 7. And then If I take negative 100 divided by 10, I get negative 10. And then if I do v to the third divided by v squared, I'm subtracting those exponents. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and I just get v. So that is my factored problem there. Okay, now we're going to take a trinomial over here. So we've got 3 numbers, and the greatest thing in here is going to be 5. Now, I'm actually going to take out negative 5 because that's going to make my first term, my leading coefficient, positive, and I like to have that when I have standard form. So I'm going to divide by negative 5, and then this right here does not have an n, so I can't take any n's out. So if I take negative 40 divided by negative 5, I get 8. Not taking any n's out. 45 divided by negative 5, whoops, is going to be negative 9n, and then negative 25 divided by negative 5 is positive 5, like that. Okay, one more. This one looks a little weird. So this time, here's my GCF. It's in parentheses, so I'm going to take that out, y minus 1. And if I divide this term by y minus 1, I get 3x. And if I divide this term by y minus 1, I get 2. And so that's my factored polynomial on that one. Okay, pause the video and go ahead and try the rest of them, and then come back and check your answers. There are your answers for those. And that's all for this video. Make sure that you write down what you have questions on so we can talk about them in class.